So hello, I'm back. Just as a word of caution, so I'm German. We are blunt. So I will not be politically correct, but I asked you why it's smart to panic in your comfort zone, and I cannot do this without rattle the cage a bit. So no offense meant. I will not give you any answers. I will give you questions, and I won't give you solutions. The only thing I want to do is to start a process, and then you take it over because it's your life. It's not me. So let's talk about the comfort zone. We all have our comfort zones. Do you know what your comfort zone is? Socially, intellectually, family-wise. So we have really to think about it. What is my comfort zone? And a lot of people put a lot of energy to stay in the comfort zone. Actually, I know people who put 100% of their energy to stay in the comfort zone. So to be liked is in the comfort zone. So I want to be liked, I stay in the comfort zone. Your comfort zone might also be very small due to your personality. You might be sick. When you're sick, when you're depressed, your comfort zone is very small. And this is fine. This is fine. But it doesn't mean that you don't do anything about it. This is not a result of that. So with your comfort zone, be very careful, because the comfort zone can go to also to something else, which is an apathy zone. If you do not do anything in your comfort zone, you will retard. You don't develop. A lot of people think, oh, I have reached this level, and now I'm good. I stop doing something. I stop learning something. I stay where I am. This is not what you should do. So in the comfort zone, you are lazy, relaxed, you are happy. A lot of people are very happy in a comfort zone. But in this zone, you are bored. There's a lot of stress when you are bored in the comfort zone. Things do not move. So this can be very negative energy in your comfort zone. What happens also in this zone is that people start bullshitting themselves. They build up an image about themselves. So they are the greatest. They are a super good manager. They bully their employees, but they are good. And then they stay in that comfort zone. So sometimes these people need also somebody just to tell them, because some people don't see it. They are actually like that. They don't see it. The head is not up. So the next zone, some people call it learning zone, somebody call it stretch zone, somebody call it high performance zone. So this is the zone actually where the energy comes in. If you go in this zone, there might be fear, because you might be put in this learning zone by your parents. You are put to school. I think we all remember the first day in school. It's not something some looked forward to that, but some were virtually crying by going to primary school because it was out of their comfort zone. And the parents didn't prepare them so that they could enjoy it. So only people in that zone can innovate, can integrate, and can motivate. If you are in your comfort zone and you are not in your learning zone, you cannot do anything else for somebody else and not for you. It will not happen. So the other thing with that is, if your learning zone is overstretched, if you want too much, too fast, this is also negative. So be careful how far you stretch. And do not let people tell you, oh, you have to stretch to that. You have to become, an overstretch is, you want to become a doctor, and your father tells you have to be a lawyer, because all the family members are lawyers. Our family is a legal firm. You have to take it over. You get totally overstretched. You will not be happy. So the next zone you have is the panic zone. So a lot of people know that in the panic zone you have just 4 modes to react. You either flight, you fight, you freeze, and the 4th one people forget, you flirt. This is what women do. You flirt your way out of it. You become really like, da, da, da. So it's like, do not attack me, I'm flirting. It's, the panic zone actually decides, and how you behave in the panic zone decides how good you are as a manager, how you can handle your panic zones, because managers are all the time in the panic zone, and how you handle the people in your team who go in the panic zone and tell you, we can't do this. So panic zone is something which is important if you talk about leadership. So there are 3 zones. So if you grow, and these zones apply not just for you, they apply, you always have to have these pictures in your head. They apply for societies, they apply for families, they apply for your bosses. You must know the zones. If you don't understand the zones of yourself and of others, it will not work. So the red zone, the panic zone, I talked about it. So you have really, when you think about a panic zone, decide in your head, is it fear or is it danger? Obviously, it's stupid to jump off a bridge. This is danger. This is not there to say, oh, overcome a panic zone, I try this. But fear is actually in your imagination. So you have to control your imagination, because the imagination in your head has an influence on your hormonal system, and it shuts off your brain. If you have too much energy, adrenaline in you don't think. You cannot think. It's just impossible. So some people have a big comfort zone, small comfort zone. Some people have learning zones who do not really stretch. They are really stiff. Maybe stiff made by society, stiff by sickness, stiff by personality, stiff by character. It's a little bit like a talent. Some people have huge stretching zones, and they do not care about their comfort zone at all. They always look for the next thrill. Some people have very broad comfort zones, very small learning zones, and some people have only a comfort zone and a panic zone and no zone in between. You must know that. You must understand yourself. So it's also, is your comfort zone a cage for others? It could be that your comfort zone is the cage of your children. Your comfort zone could be the cage of your employees. Your comfort zone could be the cage of your startup, and the reason is not taking off. So think about it. You are not all innovators, leaders, inventors. Sometimes you are the oil between the wheels, because you might be the secretary. You might be, this is as valuable. So being just a secretary is as valuable as being the founder of the next unicorn. So, but if you are not the next inventor, what at least you should not do with your comfort zone, stand in the way of people who could do the whole run. So be careful if you are very conservative and you have a daughter who could do it, take yourself out of the equation, because you might be the stumbling block why she couldn't succeed. When your comfort zone grows, the other zones need to grow as well. Otherwise, suddenly you have a big comfort zone and you are back in square one. You have learned a lot and you say, oh wow, I overcome all my fears, or all fears I wanted to address. That's it. My life is done. You shouldn't do it. So when your comfort zone grows, you have to find out other challenges, otherwise the energy is not enough. The comfort zone doesn't give you energy. Only the learning and the stretching zone gives you energy. So be careful with comfort, with being there, with made it. I have my degree, now I just earn money. That also doesn't work. If you look into advertisement, they actually work with your panic zone. Ads are nothing else. They tell you, if you do not buy this eye cream, you will have wrinkles. What you do is, you're on the panic zone, I don't want to have wrinkles. I buy the eye cream, back in the comfort zone, $50. So this is why people go shopping. All these shopping addicts try desperately to get into comfort by buying stuff. It's a compensation. So the first thing to find your comfort zone is you have to find out who you are. Who are your values? How do you treat yourself? Do you actually like you? or do you just accept you? Or are you working all the time on yourself to make you likable for yourself or likable for others? So when you do not like yourself, why should anybody else? So there it starts. You have first to embrace yourself. That doesn't mean that you should bullshit you or others. So you have really to be authentic. You have to know your core self, you have to have your private self, and you have to have your public self. And it doesn't mean to be authentic to really make a soul striptease to everybody. But all the selves must fit with each other. It cannot be that you are privately, doing things which you are publicly don't do, because people feel it. People will see it. They have it in their gut. What is triggering your emotions, negative and positive? Find this out. It's a very simple exercise what I do with people I work with. Just note who you love, one person, who you hate, one person, who loves you, one person, and who hates you, one person. And if with all these four people, a conversation. This is, when I, for example, did an interview, I got a tip from my father. He said, you know what, when you had an interview for a job, then I mostly ask you, so what is your last question? And my last question always was that from all the things you know about me, which you do like least? And they were totally irritated. But this is what I wanted to know. If I didn't get the job, I'd at least wanted to know that. You have to come to terms with your true self, physically, emotionally, spiritually, to find your true self. This is the thing you have to do. And authenticity is not to copy other people, but it doesn't mean that you don't learn. Of course you can piece the things together, but don't copy. You have to be the best version of yourself. Be aware how others see you. So this is a picture I really use often and I like. On the left side, you see the person, how the person is seen by others when they look at her. And on the other side is the person, how she sees herself in the mirror. You see there's a difference. So you have the wrong picture because you see yourself in the mirror and the others see your front face. It's the same with your voice. A lot of people, when they get their voice recorded, they feel a little bit uncomfortable because they never hear their voice as the voice really is. They never see themselves, seeing yourself on video is really a little bit, nobody says, oh wow, I'm great on video. I do not know one actor, I know quite a few that say, oh, that's great. So listen to yourself, watch yourself on video. It will be very embarrassing, but you will learn something. Learn about what other people really are. Do not see the outside. Do not judge. Do not let yourself be misled by insignia of power and wealth and beauty. That's not what the persons are. I always tell my children, born rich, beautiful, talented, and healthy is not an achievement. This is nothing you can be proud of. And you should not, because it's not an achievement. It's a blessing, yes, but it's not an achievement. And all of that is worth nothing if you do not have the work ethics, values, and resilience. Become aware of different cultures. If you do not know where you are in this scheme, then you sometimes expect from people that they behave as you are in your cultures. For example, if you are from Saudi Arabia, you avoid confrontation and you are emotionally expressive. That means you give me signals, I as a German, if I haven't learned it, cannot read. Because we don't read these signals. We are confrontational and we like it. It's not an offense if you do a presentation and I tell you, this was shit. And I would say that. So we use these words. Then, in the UK they would say to you, that was quite good. I do not really say what you would say in the Philippines, and if you give me this feedback, me as a German, you would tell me, oh, this presentation was quite good, I wouldn't try to learn because quite good in my country is good. So be aware of the cultural differences if you work with people and if you expect people to understand you. another thing what a lot of people forget is what you say. And a lot of people think what they verbally say is what they say. But it's not. It's maybe 10%, 20%. You have to learn one language. This is non-verbal language. And you have to learn how you react to paraverbal language. So paraverbal language is when somebody has the tone, the voice, the pitch, the dialect. This is paraverbal language. And the non-verbal language is your body language and is eye contact. Because if people cannot see you in the eyes, they don't see you and they don't hear you, which is difficult when you are from a culture where it's said, oh, you know, you're a woman, you have to be modest, don't look people in the eye. You bring people out of the comfort zone, I bring people out of the comfort zone in this region because I always look in the eye. And there are men who said, oh, she's totally disrespectful. And this is for us, to learn that, if I don't look you in the eye, I don't see you, I don't hear you, so you are a man, it will not happen. So if you want me to understand you, look me in the eye. And you might need to change it because nobody will see you and hear you if they don't have eye contact. If you do yourself a favor, look other people in the eye. What you see in the eyes, everywhere is a light. When people do films, they put a light in the actor's eye, otherwise the film would be dead. And when you are dead, the eyes are closed. There is no light visible. If you don't look people in the eye, you are dead. So this is a cultural challenge. I do not know how to solve it, but I told you I don't give you answers. I give you questions. Don't assume that people are malicious. People might not know. So I had an experience, so some of you know, so I work with Uma Obama, who's the sister of Barack, so I sit on her board, and she's obviously Kenyan, and she is black. So we had a talk, it was a week ago, in Germany, where the guy who gave us the mic, and it was a mic you get in the face, told her, oh, what color of mic would you like to have? Skin color. In Germany, skin color is not black. So actually, she looked at him very gracefully, said, you sure this is my skin color? And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I need to get and he didn't dare to say the black one. He was like, said, and Auma said to him, I'm black, I would like to have the black one. And by the way, next time, look first at the skin color before you tell me it's the skin color. So it happens. It is not malicious. So some people just do not know. People are not aware of your problem. And a lot of the women here in the room might remember that when they felt pregnant, at least it was my experience, the second I knew I was pregnant, I was virtually surrounded by pregnant women, which I didn't see before. So it is your awareness set. And it was not that I was malicious, ignoring them. They were not on my awareness set. So make people aware, and then if people tell you, I do not care, this is a different conversation. But as long as they are not aware, do not think they are malicious. It's the same, you wear a hijab. When people avoid eye contact with you, it doesn't mean that they do not like you. They are uncomfortable. They are out of their comfort zone. They do not know what to do. They might know, oh, my husband, for example, when I started working in the Middle East, when I met with him, my friends in London, he was totally panicking, doing something wrong. He was not himself. My friend Lana said to me, he is really weird. I said, no, he didn't want to misbehave, so he didn't really say, then there was a joke, and he didn't really know if he should laugh. So he was, because he didn't want to offend. Because I briefed him too much, like saying, you do not dare to do this. He was totally paralyzed. It was not malicious intent, but she really said, he doesn't really like me. I said, no, he was so busy not offending you, he didn't have time to show you that he actually likes you. So it's always a matter of appearance. It's the same with the pictures. Do not judge. See the full picture. If you were not present in any discussion, in any fight, you have to hear both sides and be very careful to make a judgment. Especially with all the pictures you get. Authority is a big thing. So, who are your mentors? Who are your role models? How did you choose them? So, which people have influence on you? Also, your family. You didn't choose your family. You got them. And there's always this. I had, fortunately, a father who gave me the freedom. He said to me, just because I'm your father doesn't mean that you need to love me. I need to earn that. So if somebody tells you, I am right because I'm your father, I don't think so. But choose your own tribe. Find your tribe who helps you. So I will give you some examples with people who were my inspirations, my teachers. So this guy. So then I read to you, I think all of you know who that is. I run a little bit over 3 minutes because I think it's important. Everybody knows who that guy is. Everybody likes this guy? Okay. I read something from him, and you might change your opinion. He said, and he repeated it, I don't think that it is particularly wrong in hitting a woman, though I do not recommend to do it the same way you hit a man. Don't make a fist. Change something? Okay, let's go on. Mahatma Gandhi. Everybody likes him? Okay. He wrote that. Mahatma Gandhi couldn't control his sexual desire. He wrote in his book, as his father lay dying, Gandhi left his bedside to have sex with his wife. Meanwhile, his father drew his last breath. I put something on it. He made a spiritual experiment with young women. He forced them, as a leader, to sleep and shower naked with him, including his grandniece, who acknowledged later that she used to sleep and bath with him naked. Worst of all, she was not the only girl he groomed for this experiment. She suffered from long life psychological problems and was harassed by senior Indian leaders not to divulge the truth in public. And the last but not least, Mother Teresa. She said there were no painkillers because she said there's something beautiful in seeing the poor accept their lot and to suffer like Christ in passion. The world gains so much when they suffer while dying. When Mother Teresa was terminally ill, she got palliative care with a lot of painkillers in the US hospital. I told you I rattled your cage. So very briefly, I wanted to do something, it is about success. And I like this quote. And this is now a positive thing. I haven't researched him if he has something negative. He sure has something. He said, I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost 300 games. 26 times when I was trusted to do the final winning shot, I missed. Over and over, I failed and over again in my life. And this is why I succeed. So failure is not opposite from success. Failure is part of success. And I always say, I either win or I learn. I never fail. So you have to put yourself in this. Take responsibility for your failures. Take charge. You can only grow with that. And at the end, I give you some advice. And if you've listened a little bit to me, and you have some authority with that, and I hope you question my authority, you should have reworked it in this. And now I think we have lunch. Thank you.